Welcome back. After the break, we have some breaking news coming in. Sonia Gandhi's latest editorial hits out at Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Sonia Gandhi wrote, like-minded opposition parties are joining hands together as institutions under threat. Sonia wrote, in Parliament too, opposition attacked. Allegations of financial fraud against the PM's chosen businessmen are ignored. Over the past months, we have witnessed the Prime Minister and his government systematically dismantling all three pillars of India: democracy, the legislature, the executive and judiciary. In the last parliament session, we saw the government-led strategy to disrupt parliament and prevent opposition from raising issues. Crossing over to our senior editor Pallavi Ghosh to shed more light on this. Pallavi, what would you say is the significance of this editorial, especially that clarion call for like-minded parties and saying that Congress is ready to join hands with all of them?
Yeah, and I would say it's quite interesting, Shilpa, because we are seeing a kind of a break in the opposition unity because Mr. Sharad Pawar, the last two occasions has said that neither the Adani nor the fake degree issue, now both of these topics are something which is taken up by the Congress party, will not resonate with the people. Now, this has gone around with this perception that will the opposition ever be united if Mr. Pawar does not echo the thoughts of the Congress? The Trinamool Congress clearly not agreeing that JPC and Adani's can be the core election issue for 2024. So a reach out by Sonia Gandhi once again. Very quickly, 2004, she was the one who was the architect of the UPA alliance. She had actually gone to leader to various political parties and urging them to join hands against the BJP at that point of time. Yes, she's exercising that role once again, and that's exactly the point she's making in that column that she has written.
Pallavi, interesting timing of this editorial just when the BRS, of course NCP and TMC have been de-recognized as national parties. Now do you think perhaps that move could in fact conversely increase opposition unity?
Well, times have changed. 2004 was very different from what it is now. Many of the smaller parties are even more ambitious. Some of them have national ambitions. Just yesterday, we saw that AAP was recognized as a national party by the Election Commission. But I think Sonia Gandhi is trying to assume that role once again, where she's urging the like-minded parties to come together. Her column is not just dedicated to the need for like-minded parties to come together. She actually breaks down what she calls the fascist, autocratic style of functioning of the Modi government, how every institution has been compromised, parliament, the investigative agencies, so on and so forth. Whether it works, whether it resonates with the smaller parties who definitely have ambitions, but most of these smaller parties are now a threat or in competition with the Congress party. So that's also something which has changed since 2004. So the situation is not the same anymore. It's much, much more challenging for the Congress.
Pallavi, also interestingly, while Rahul Gandhi doesn't spare any forum to bring up the name of Adani, she in fact chooses to play it safe by saying the PM's chosen one. Was there any reason why she refrained from naming him?
Because I think she understands the perils of alienating her allies. This is something which she understood from 2004 and 2009. And even her critics accept the fact that she's politically much, much more savvy and much, much more shrewd. And, these political parties like the NCP and TMC have gone on record to say that they find it easier to work with her while they find it very difficult to work along with Rahul Gandhi. So I think that's also something she's adhering to, because the point which Mr. Pawar made and something which Mamata Banerjee also made is that Adani issue per se is a redux of the Chaukidar Chor Hai movement. It does not work. And therefore, this is something which she, I think, understands, and perhaps that could be one reason why she has specifically not taken the name.
And Pallavi, as you're mentioning, she again reiterates the reasons for why she says the legislature, the executive and the judiciary have been compromised. If you could tell us, how she's exactly substantiated this in this editorial of hers.
Well, what she said is something which many opposition leaders also say. And she talks about parliamentary democracy, she talks about parliament, and she talks about the fact that how every institution is compromised, how Modi is refusing to give that kind of respect or place to opposition parties, how he's stubborn. In the recently concluded budget session of parliament, we saw how there was actually very rarely, on rare occasions, even work was done. There was a complete deadlock between the government and the opposition on the other side. Repeated adjournments were taking place, and the opposition has this common complaint. Mics are switched off, cameras don't show us, you expunge our comments when there are comments coming in similarly, which are unparliamentary from many ministers, the Prime Minister himself, all of it which she refers to in her columns.
Thank you very much, Pallavi, for bringing us up to speed.